Hey guys, welcome to a new video, and this time I am making some undergarments. This is going to be a chemise. I drafted the pattern on my dress form recently and now I am going to cut out these two pieces from a white lightweight cotton. I intend to use this for my 1890s projects as well as my 1780s project. I hope that I can use it for both. So I'm trying to pattern my stays while watching Sleepy Hollow. My friend gave it to me. It's quite fun. It's okay while doing hems and stuff like that. I like to watch a series or something like that, but normally I'm not the series type. Yeah, here you can see what I already did. I did pattern the front part. I measured my body, and the book that I'm using is Mandy Barrington's Stays and Corsets. It's the first time that I use this book. She also wrote down a lot of instructions, but I don't know, they didn't make that much sense to me. Maybe I should have taken more time, but it is way easier for me to see how it should look and then measure my body and then try to pattern it. So I'll give this one a go with a mock-up and hopefully it will be okay. Spinazzo saying hello too. He can't be hungry again. It's not possible. I fed him an hour ago. Well, back to the machine. I had to buy a new sewing machine because mine broke and I just used it for the first time and I'm in love. It's so much better than the cheap thing I used before. So yes, that's my new sewing machine. I am at the moment cutting out the sleeves for my shift that I'm going to show you in a minute because I went on with it. So that's it. I finished the neckline, I also finished the hem, and I added darts. That's not accurate at all, but I prefer it. I think it will be much more comfortable to wear beneath my stays, so I just did it. It was also a little bit big on me and the darts just solved the problem. So that's where I'm at. I am now cutting out the sleeves. I'm going to sew them together. I'll add them to the shift and then decorate them, and then that's finished. It is a little bit short, I have to say. Maybe I'll add a ruffle to the hem or something to make it longer because it's mid-thigh and it should be around my knees, and know how that happened, but well, it's too short, so yeah. Now this is going to be the outer shell and I'm doing French seams, so I am going to sew the first seam right sides facing each other, and I'm now going to change my stitch because I'm not sure if I have enough seam allowance. That always happens to me and I never think of it before. So I have to sew this seam, the first one at least, quite narrow. And that's what I'm doing. Finishing the edges and sewing on the bias binding by machine because I am going to add some lace to it, and so you don't really see the seams. But I think I would have been faster by hand because it's tricky with my machine. You can't remove the table, so I have to do it like this. So I'm currently sewing in the second sleeve, and after that I just have to decorate it and then the shift will be finished. At the moment I'm cutting out my bum pad and it looks rather small, but that's okay because I don't want to have too much of a boom anyway. So at the moment I am sewing up my bum pad. I have these two crescent moon shaped layers and a ruffle in between, and then I'm going to sew it into 3 compartments and fill it up, close it here, and somewhere in between I have to add this. And then maybe I will add some trim to the ruffle. I have to see if I have enough just to match it to my shift. So that's what I'm up to. I'm stuffing my bum pad with some leftover fabric that I collected, and afterwards I'm going to sew it close and hem it with bias binding, and then it is finished. So bum pad and shift are finished, and I'm now working on my stays. I did not finish them yet, and after that I only have the petticoat to go, and then my set of underwear is done. I'm pretty happy with it. It has its mistakes as always, but it's okay. At the moment I am doing adjustments for my stays pattern. I had to alter the neckline. It is far too close together and not square. And I also altered these tabs down here, and I think I'll do the rectangle ones instead of these. I have to try it again because I feel that the neckline might still be a little bit too short here, and I also doubt that this works. I finished altering my pattern, and now I'm doing a second mock-up because I really love the fabric I want to use for the top layer, and I don't want to destroy it because I don't have that much, and I hope it's enough for my 1890s corset too. I cut out everything from the base fabric to make a second mock-up, and I decided to cut away these long straps because I've seen stays mostly being laced around here, and that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to mark the boning channels and make a second mock-up, and I think my cat is playing or complaining. I'm never that sure. Complaining. So I'm done drawing out all the boning channels, and it was quite some work. I'm going to use this plastic one for those two here, and for the middle one it's a bit thicker and a little bit more elastic than the other boning I'm going to use. Maybe I will use the stiffer one here because that's where it has to be stable. Have to see. It's a little bit wider. I think it's 1 centimeter, and the steel boning I'm going to use is very stiff and it's 0.5 centimeter, and so I didn't want to use it here because it does not bend really well. And I'm also not sure about the boning in the tabs, but I'm not sure about that anyway. Yeah, I'll just go with it like always. I'm now going to use a red pen and mark every line that I'm going to sew, because I can't sew over these because I only will have 2 layers. So I'll draw that out. It will be quite ugly on the inside because I cannot really wash it, but hey, it will be nice from the outside. So it's a new day and I forgot to film, but what I basically did is I cut out the 3 pieces of my stays from my beautiful fabric. I adore it. Look at this, isn't it beautiful? Let's have a moment for it. And I even got leftovers. Maybe it's enough for another one, or I can redo them should I mess up. But so far it's looking good. I'm going to sew these together and then start sewing the boning channels. So I'm sewing boning channels. I'm sewing the ones that I can sew without closing something. These ones will be the yeah. And in the background there's a fight going on. I'm watching Last Samurai. I apologize. I couldn't find the thing to turn it silent. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I did this middle part. I have to do these small bits here, and then I'll insert all the boning that I can. And the last things I'll do are these ones to close the channels here, and then these, and yeah. Let's see what it looks like in the end. I finished sewing the boning channels and my cat is crazy and running through the apartment like making strange noises sometimes. Oh dear. Well, I'm inserting boning into the channels that I just sewed. Then I'm going to sew the rest of them, insert the rest of the boning, and then I'll be close to finish my stays. So I tried to cut the new boning that I bought. I initially bought it to do a hoop skirt, and I will do a hoop skirt with it too. But I also wanted to use it for my stays, and here you see what I usually use to cut my boning with, and it didn't work. So I had to buy this monster here because it was the only thing in the store that worked to cut that boning. So I'm happy that I found something really sturdy, but I'm also a little bit afraid, oh my god, what is it going to do to my body? But I'll go with it. I'll insert the boning now and we'll see. So yesterday I finished inserting all the boning and I closed all boning channels, and today I am doing the eyelets for the lacing. I read different blogs on how they did it in the 18th century, and that's what I'm coming up with, and I'm going to use this light blue embroidery floss to make the eyelets last, and then I'll do a final try on. I thought about lining this because this vanishes, but I didn't have this pen in the beginning, so I have all these lines that mark my boning channels, and it's not nice on the inside. To see what I do about this, because now I already did the holes for the eyelets and it will be difficult to line it, and I have to decide before I start using bias binding to bind the tabs and the raw edges. I'll see. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. It's nice on the outside, so I just started binding the raw edges of my stays, and I decided against lining it. I simply don't care what it looks on the inside. I am going to use a ribbon or something where the boning channel ends, just to secure them a little bit more, especially down here. And yeah, then I hopefully soon will be finished. I have to, before I start binding it up here, add the straps. Then I have to add another eyelet here and an eyelet on the straps, then bind it up there, put in the lacing again, and then it'll be finished for me. And now I'm working on binding the sides and the tabs and stuff like that. My tabs are horrible, but since the stays fit so well, I will not start over again. I'll see what binding them will do. And yeah, hello guys, so it's been a while. I managed to finally bind my stays because I did not have enough bias binding, and I bought some more, and it still wasn't enough. So I'm doing the rest of it. Then I'm going to make the last of the eyelets. The others are all finished, and here you can see that's a pen that should vanish, and it clearly didn't. But anyways, other than that, they're finished. So the last thing I'm going to do for this video, and hopefully it's not too long already, is the petticoat, and then I'm done with the 1780s undergarments. So to make the inside of my stays look even prettier as they already are, I decided to add this nice brownish, yellow, greenish tape, and I add it where the bones meet my hips. I taped them, as you can clearly see, as the fabric is a little bit sheer, but still a little bit worried, so just for security I decided to add this tape. At the moment, as you can see, I'm sewing a seam. I'm working on the petticoat for my 1780s costume, and I'm doing a French seam, and then I'm going to gather the top part, sew on bias binding, put some ruffles at the bottom, and well, that's it for the petticoat. It has 2 slits on the side, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then my undergarments will be finished. The top part of my petticoat, I already sewed the slits in the sides, and stupid me, instead of having the selvage at the bottom, I accidentally cut the slits up here, so I'm now gathering the selvage and I have to do a seam, which is annoying, but well, maybe it's better. I'm sewing on the second tie to my petticoat, and I forgot to change the thread color, and now I have white thread in my nice blue tie, which sucks. And it shifted. Look at this stitch line. Yesterday I finished all the seams and the ties, and now I am pinning the hem of my petticoat. Afterwards I'm going to add the horsehair braid, and I am now taking the seam upwards because the petticoat is a bit long, and if it's too short afterwards, it's not that much of a problem, so I'm just taking it up. It will also give me a nice and clean line, and then I am going to add a trim here and some of the blue ribbon I used for the rest of the undergarment set, and then my undergarments will be finished. So I forgot something. Like always, I forgot to show you the finished garments, and here you can see them. And I also took some pictures of me wearing them. So thank you very much for watching. This was a long one, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!